Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to what is this? Trending Thursday. Man, I got a lot of stuff that goes on. Welcome to Trending Thursday here on our YouTube channel. My name is Glenn Tompkins, senior instructor here. Love being here, love having you guys here. Hopefully, if you are able to hear me, please respond in the chat with affirmative with a VV Nation to let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Hopefully, I am. John says, I'm so confused. Hope Glenn and Joey do some singing before talking about the market. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Joey ain't going to sing. Lord knows we don't need Joey. No. He's trying to do that Feels So Good by Chuck Mangione. I introduced him to that because he didn't understand what that was even all about.
It was on my radio.
Whatever. Trends on the Fed market bottom are here. Dave says, I'm glad I stick with confirmed calls. That's a good way to be. Sitting and waiting. Listen, I think that for the more conservative investor, the confirmed call is way to go. Asif says, Glenn, where's your cowboy hat? Joey doesn't like me wearing my hats. He always crops them out because that's not cool. He's a hater. Will you take a look at MMT? You know something, Rob? That's a stock that I am going to look at today. It's one of the stocks that I have to look at today already. So we'll talk about that. How about that? You read my mind, my friend. Jay, I got smoked on Boyle. Listen, I've been in and out of Boyle. I've timed it. I've gotten in. Boyle is a tough play. Anything UNG, Boyle, those stocks are tough to play at this time because they're so volatile. Because they're so volatile, it is a tough way to go. 4-hour candle and 20-day 4-hour candle? Who looks at 4-hour candles? Joey, is my board working yet?
Yes, Glenn.
It is? So they can hear that?
They can.
Huh?
Yes, they can, Glenn.
Thank you. Why don't you speak a little louder so that me and VV Nation can hear you? Some days,
the first three yeses would suffice.
Some days, Joey and I just can't get together. We get on each other's nerves. More so him on mine than me on his, because I am almost excellent. Him on the other side, not so much. But he's a good friend, and he's really good at what he does. I'm riding Boyle, but keeping my hands and feet inside the rides at all time. Be careful with that, Mark. It's one thing, and I did the video a couple of days ago about being patient with UNG, and somebody, Lauren, are you here? He posted a solid comment in regards to maybe natural gas has nowhere to go but down. So listen, I appreciate the comments. Believe you me, I like having people who disagree because it's not all about me. I'm not a dictator on this channel. At all. Not at all. So I love it when people disagree, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree. Yield premium. Where can I find the AAA corporate bond yield, and can we find the S&P 500 earnings yield with the VectorVest? I want to track the yield premium myself. Jose, give our product support staff a call. If you look at our market climate graph, you can see that information. All right? You can see that information. So we give a lot of great pertinent information and things like that, Jose. And if you're not a subscriber to the software, 99 cents gets you 30 days access to the software. All right. Folks, if you're brand new to the channel, I invite you to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. If you like the comment, hit the like button. And most of all, I think that with the information that we give here on the channel, more and more people should see what's going on. I invite you right now to share this link, this live link of what's going on your social circles. Let's get the people here. I'm not pushing any stocks. I'm not being fear-mongering. I'm just telling it like it is. And I think that in the day and age of YouTube, I think that more of that needs to be done. All right? If you agree with that, type a 1 in the room. If you agree that in the age of YouTube, people should be educating people more so than trying to hype up stocks, any stock or anything, type a 1 in the room. And I strive very hard to be able to provide that information, but I need other people to be here. We are only at the tip of the iceberg of the people that we touch in the market. You know that? We are only at the tip of the iceberg. The only way to get the iceberg further into the iceberg is with you guys. That's why I always ask in every stream, please hit copy the link and share it. Thank you, Roger. Roger said shared. Excellent. That's all that I can ask for. All right. So let's get and address the elephant in the room. And no, it's not Joey. But hold on. Put that. All right. And I know he's probably going to, probably do something and block me out. Huh? I played the crickets. Maria shared as well. Thank you for doing that. I played the crickets. And the big news that came out today was that GDP got better. What did you just do? That GDP got better. And you would think that that would drive the market price higher. But if you look at what's going on right now, look at the major indices. We got a mixed market today. Is the market digesting that information, or does the market believe what they saw, or what? So the whole alert that I set out today is, are you confused about what's going on in the market? So we're going to try to address what's going on. And I also want you to be prepared for tomorrow's 6 p.m. video on YouTube, which is going to be, can the bulls hold on to the current market rally? All right. So I'm glad you're here today. We're going to discuss it, but the Friday video tomorrow is going to be all about that as well. So I want you to be alert for that. Busy looking at earnings. Michael says, man, there's a lot of things that should be pushing the market higher, and we're going to get into it, right? So as we look at the major indices mixed, the Dow is still up triple digits, 281, where the NASDAQ is weighing down. Why? Because Meta missed. Meta missed, and that's what's really helping to pull the NASDAQ down. But the S&P, 500, 100, both down, and our very own VectorVest composite is up about 0.5%. Advances to declines as the market is moving. We still have more stocks going up than going down, but with still a big mixed market. And so that's what's going on. Waiting until the Fed announcement next week. Paul, you hit them. Ding, 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 ding. Hold on. That is absolutely one of the things that's going on. So let's address all of that. Let me get into my news stories today. And I think that you're going to be, right on. We're going to be right on point of everything that everybody is talking about right now. U.S. economy rebounds in Q3 on boost from trade, but demand is still stalling. That's going to be a big part of that. So if demand is stalling, and people are not, something to a certain degree, the demand is still there, but people are not paying or buying as much. You go to the grocery store, right? The gross domestic product grows, but you go to the grocery store, because of inflation, we're not getting nearly as much as we used to get. You still go to the gas stations. Gas prices are starting to rise again. I think it's going to continue to do that. Why is Apple down bigly, Chez Charlize? I think that earnings comes out for Apple today, and I think that most people are anticipating, like Meta, that Apple is going to miss earnings. A lot of their business is done in China, and China is affecting it. So I think that it's in anticipation. Of looking at the potential earnings for Apple possibly missing. Glenn, you using daily candles? Yes. 4 hour on a 20-day EMA is cleaner than a 1 day on a 10. Something I probably got to take a look at. All right, I ain't going to deny it. Maybe it's something I got to take a look at, and possibly I do. What day does the Fed announce? Most likely it's going to be on Wednesday, because normally Patrick and I are on together when the Fed announces. So it's going to probably be on Wednesday. Hanging man candle on SGML has me worried. And Maria, I still like lithium as a play right now. But there's always a bad time to be in a good stock. We'll keep our eyes on that. What's up, JD? I told you that the SPY does not belong above the 200 EMA. JDT Beats and I tweet a lot back and forth on Twitter. If you ever want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Glenn Tompkins Jr. on Twitter. And, he's got a lot of good stuff that he tweets. I got some stuff that I tweet, and we converse back and forth. So I took some profits on LNG. That's not a bad play. It's not a bad play. All right. So the U.S. economy rebounds. So GDP rose. This is big. Powell again facing political pressure as worries mount over economy. Now, I've always asked this question. I'm going to ask it again. How many of you believe that Powell has the intestinal fortitude to stick to the plan? Type a 1. If you think that he's going to cave due to political pressures, type a 2. All right, so as you're typing in your 1 or your 2, let me explain to you about what's going on. So Powell said that his monetary policy was going to hurt the economy. And you know something? It is. And actually, Joey, put up a poll for me. How many, do you think that the Fed has the fortitude to stick to his plan? Put a yes or a no. I see you coming in here, but I want to see a poll. I want you guys to answer the poll. All right, I want you guys to answer the poll because I want to get a percentage of you guys that are talking out there. So Joey's going to put up a poll, and I want you to answer in the poll. And by the end of that poll, I want to see what the percentage of you say yes and what the percentage of you say no. So Powell's raising interest rates, and we know that it's going to affect businesses' ability to meet or exceed earnings, right? Number one. Number two, with the rising of the interest rates, it increases housing mortgage rates. And we can see that that people going after new homes is falling off of a cliff, which is why I'm bigly on DRV from a real estate perspective. All of this.
What'd you say, Glenn? Does the Fed have the fortitude to what?
To stick to his current plan. I don't type numbers because Glenn is not a political investor influence. Okay, and that's fine. I don't like to talk. You're not seeing the news. Oh, did I not move? Sorry about that. Thank you, Joey. So does the Fed have the fortitude to stick to his current plan? That's the poll that I want you to answer. I know that you typed the 1s and the 2s in the room, but I want to see the percentages by the end of this poll of how many of you say yes and how many of you say no. Snap reduced pay out to creators. You know who else did too? Twitch. Twitch is doing that as well. And a lot of gamers are moving from Twitch over to YouTube. That's another thing on the gaming side. That's another whole story in and of itself, JD. All right. So I'm wondering again, do you guys think he's got the fortitude to stick to his plan? Is he going to still stay hawkish? Because inflation is still not getting any better. A tad bit. But is a tad bit worth it? So we'll see. How about this? So with that, Fed seen slowing the pace of rate hikes in December. This is news. All right. And this is conjecture. This is whatever you want to say. I'm of the mindset, Patrick said it yesterday. I'm not of the mindset that he's going to do that until I hear it from him. And these are all of the pressures that he's under from the political side, from the economic side, that you're killing the economy. Is he? Because the job unemployment is still low. All right. I understand we're in a shrinking economy. That's correct. Demand is falling. Why? Because we're making it tougher for people to buy things and do things. So the economy is shrinking. Is it shrinking enough for him to actually go instead of a 3/4 basis points to a half? I don't think so. All right. And now Dr. C says 25 points on Monday for the election. I can't see him pulling back because if you pull back at this time, what does inflation do? Inflation continues to run higher. And then what? He's going to turn back and go, all right, fine. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. We're going to go back and keep, at the rate that we were. If you slow down, you're not accommodating or you're not effectively going after inflation. His main tool that he has is the raising of the interest rates, as well as taking stuff off his books. Do you know, though, there's another side of this. With the raising of the interest rates the way that he is, though, and hurting the economy, do you know how much money we've got to pay back on our debt because of the higher interest rates? Is that sustainable? So I want to argue both sides. Is that sustainable? So I think that the people that are thinking that he needs to back off are thinking along those levels. We got $31 trillion debt. That's a lot of money. And if we pay the interest on that, that's a lot of money. Do we have that money? Sure we do. We got something called a printing press, and we can just keep on printing money. Does that serve the purpose? Does that help us? I don't know. Jobs are starting to lay off. Absolutely, Tyree. If you check out my Twitter, I keep tweeting out the companies that are laying off people. Again, it's Glenn Tompkins Jr. on Twitter. All right. Raphael says it's happening in Canada. Like Canada, the Bank of Canada only raised 50 points, not 75, but will continue to raise in December. All right, so now that's outside, but the ECB, where's that at? The ECB did raise theirs three-quarter basis points as well. Well, what else is hurting the economy or hurting the market today? Meta. Meta shares plunged 24% to the lowest price since 2016. That's big. And I think in anticipation of that, people are looking at Apple, and people are thinking that Apple's going to miss bigly as well. Well, we'll see. Patrick's on the same mindset of a lot of people are not going to be buying these phones. Where's my phone? Here's my iPhone i14, i14 Pro Max. Yes, I went and I got my phone. Joey hasn't gotten his yet. He's waiting for me to buy him one. Joey, do you want me to buy you a phone? Okay, he's away. Don't print money if you want a strong dollar. Well, the dollar right now is strong and still affecting gold at this particular point in mind. Even if the ETI is in a steady downturn week after week. So the ETI, or the earnings trend indicator, for those of you who are subscribers to the VectorVest software, looks at we're still above the value of 1 on a scale between 0 and 2, but it is falling. Until it falls below that value of 1, Mike, we're going to still be in a bull market overall. Yes, Glenn has the money. Every dollar he has is worth 50 cents. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate that. I'm hiring in Houston. No one wants to work. And that is the problem when it comes down to unemployment or jobs out there. Job market looks good, sort of. The job market looks good, sort of. There's a lot of people looking for a lot of people, a lot of employers looking for a lot of employees, but they ain't there. But, it is what it is. Unemployment's still low. People are still laying off. The bigger companies are laying off because of the higher interest rates. But there's a lot of people out there who are looking for people. Fed needs to join VectorVest. High five to that, man. The Fed needs to jump on with VectorVest so they can get a better feel of what's going on and stop jacking this all up. You know what I'm saying? Right, Joey? They need to stop making the bad mistakes, and we can help them. Lots of companies are hiring, all in places where no one wants to live. Another thing about hiring people, more people want to be hired but still want to work from home. Why? Because childcare is expensive. That's another thing. If I'm hiring somebody and I need them to be in the office, but they're telling me, no, I need to work from at home. And I say, I think you got all of the qualifications, but no, I can't do that. I need you here. And people walk away from that. That's tough. But see, now all my kids are grown, so I'm not in the same shoes. So I'm not judging. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging. But it's tough. It's tough. All right. Now, that's on Meta. How many of you keep seeing that non-political, that people say that the oil companies are gouging? How many of you think that the oil companies are gouging it? They're making a lot of money and they're gouging. Type a 1 in the room. If you think that it's capitalism and that they're charging for their product by way of demand, type a 2 in the room. I'm of the mindset of 2. It's capitalism. All right. That's what I honestly, truly, wholeheartedly feel. And guess what? The prices, I don't like them. But listen, it's what we do. This is what we've grown. This is what we've built this country on, is that whole capitalism thing. So I'm going to bring up another, and there you go. Michael says 2, supply and demand. I'm all for that. People are waking up and they are rather working for themselves or with the way the AK. I don't even why I put that up there. I won't put that up there. But you know something? Entrepreneurship has jumped since COVID. A lot of people are working for themselves. All right. So with that being said, here's a story. Oil giant Shell reveals plan to hike dividend as a quarterly profits more than double. So I ask that question because the oil companies are saying, yo, we're making money. Let's reward our investors. And that's how your company grows. That's how more and more people buy stock in your company. It's capitalism. It is. But you're going to have some that say that the oil companies should be putting that back, and instead of whatever. I don't understand the rationale behind what they're saying, but again, that's just my opinion. All right. Last story. Americans' personal savings is falling off a cliff. Brace yourself for just how much they decline. Now, I bring this story up because other industries like the travel industries, hotels are going up in price because of bookings. Carnival ships and all the shipping companies are going up in price because of bookings. Airlines are going up in price because of bookings. But how do we normally pay for our vacations? All right, so let me ask this question. Do we just take the money out of our pocket to go pay for a vacation, or do we save for a vacation? One, if we can just take the money out of our pockets and say, hey, honey, we're going on vacation. Type of two, if you feel you're still in the camp that you need to save for a vacation. Type of one or a two. All right, credit cards, we're going to come back to that in a second. But how do we normally, we just go and say, fine, I can go pay for this right now. Or what do we do? Credit cards, don't put that up because that's going to come up. And that's going to be the second part of this argument right here. But people normally save. Now, I've got people that say, fine, I just take the money out of my pocket. Guess what? That money, most likely you're taking out of your pocket, still is money that you've saved. Just saying. Now, I can't talk for everybody that's out there. But most likely, if you are typing one, it's because you do have that money saved. That's what I think. I invest for vacations with VectorVest. I like that, Lauren. And Lauren, I did address you. Thank you for your comment. Even though you didn't agree with me on the gas story, I hear you. But never, I want you to bring to the table your opinions, your comments, whether you agree with me or not. So, Lauren, I wanted to address that with you right here, my friend. I'm okay if you don't agree. I am so okay about that. Forget about vacations. Worry about paying the rent or end up being homeless. That's another whole story in and of itself. So the whole other side of this argument is, what are people doing if they don't have the savings as this story talks about? They're putting on their credit cards. From that point, what are they doing? They're increasing their debt. There's a lot of stories out there that are showing how much the debt has increased right now through all of this that's going on with the high inflation. Well, if I don't have the money to go buy food, what am I going to do? Put it on my credit card. If I don't have the money, just like Lou says, to pay my rent, what am I going to do? Put it on my credit card. For those of you who are like, man, it's been 2 years since I've been able to get out of the house because of COVID. I'm going on vacation. What are they doing? Putting on their credit cards. The debt story is only at the beginning, folks. And I don't know if it's going to cause a bubble or whatever you want to call it, but it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So everybody who put in the credit cards, I'm with you on that. Paul says credit card debt at historical highs. Absolutely. Bill says, wife says we're going. I hear you. Next week, I'm going to be off for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Why? Because my wife is saying we're going away. And that's going to happen. My wife just says, baby, we're going away. And I say, which credit card do you need? Yep, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do is I say, okay, baby, I open up, which credit card do you want? But listen, my wife is my calendar. Baby, you doing this weekend and this weekend. And okay. Which credit card do you need? That's the way you go. Oh my God, Apple put Flow crazy. Somebody knows something. I'm telling you, JD, I'm thinking that a lot of people are anticipating that Apple is going to miss. All right. Whip sound. The closest thing, I got this. That's the closest. Joey, I probably need a whip. You need to do that. Asif says, Glenn, you're traveling too much. Joey, you think I'm traveling too much?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right. So those are all my stories that I have today. All right. So just laying down the basis on some of the things that are moving the market with the Fed, with the anticipation of this, that, and the other thing. Come visit the Caribbean. It's always summer. Jamie, guess what? In March, talk about traveling. In March, my wife and I are taking a cruise. And we're going to be going to Belize and going to something. I don't even know where we're going. It's a 7-day cruise. So I'll be in the Caribbean somewhere. That's going to be in March.
The poll is over. 64% said yes, 34% said no. 100%.
Wow. So 64% of you think that the Fed is going to stick with his plan. All right. Ninja says, Glenn, travel while you can and where you want. Have a great life. I love that. John says, Glenn, come up to Boston in December. It should be really, I'm not doing that. Heck no. Heck no. I am not going to Boston in the winter. All right. Now let's get into the software. All right. Where's my watch list? There we go. We'll start from there. Let's start from the markets. So the GDP got better. The market should be rocking, and we're like this. We sit back and go, what's going on? GDP grew. The gross domestic product grew. But I think the underpinnings of what's going on in the market is starting to still take effect. JD is still bearish. Mark is still bearish. How many of you are still bearish in the market? Type of 1. How many of you are still bearish in the market? Type of 1. I'm very curious to know. I am still of the mindset that the overall trend in the market is still down. We getting some short-term relief? Absolutely. But let me tell you about that short-term relief. That short-term relief is based off of two things, oil and energy. The two things that are moving the market. And for each one of these relief rallies that we have, the two things that are moving the market is oil and energy. My only issue with that, if the bulls have control of this market, it would be more of a broader move of several different industries pushing the market higher. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? All right. If this market, if the bulls really had a control, and you're sitting back going, man, I'm confused as to what's going on. If the bulls really had control over this market, we have a more broad-based move of industries. Type a yes in the room if you agree with that. All right. And if you don't agree with that, that you're okay with the bulls having control with just energy and oil, type a no in the room. All right. If you're okay with just that, type a no. I think we need more participation in the upward moving market than just oil and energy. Now, Edward is on point. The dew went up. Can it go red today after one day? And if so, confirmed. And the answer is, I'm not going to talk a lot about market timing and trending Thursday. I will do more talking about market timing on midday markets on Monday. The idea is we give a lot away in the system, and I don't want to give away too much from a market timing perspective for all of the people who pay for a subscription in the software. For those of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest system and you're interested in a lot of the things that I show here, I got you, Joey, of all of the things that we show here, you can take a trial to the VectorVest system for 99 cents for 30 days. You want to learn more about our different market timing signals to affect any type of investor in the market? 99 cents gets you access to that. Do you want to get the guidance that we give every single night on how to look at the next day? 99 cents gets you access for 30 days into the VectorVest system. So I'm not going to talk about the DEW. I understand that it's up, and depending on how you invest in the market, use your market timing signal. If that's part of your plan, trade your plan. I'm not telling anybody to go against what the system is doing. All I'm doing is giving you insight as to the long-term trend, but the short-term move right now is bullish. If it gives you an opportunity to buy, take it, but be very careful. That's what I'm saying, because long-term, that's going to affect the short-term in a minute. So just be very careful about the stocks that you're getting in. Let's talk about the stocks that made my big news. There wasn't a lot of stocks. It was more about the economy than anything. But Shell, giving out that money back in dividends, up 5.6% today. Meta, the biggest weigher to the downside on tech stocks on the NASDAQ, down 24%. Man, now I'm interested to see what Apple does after it reports today. I don't think that it's got enough to report and say we're good. All right. We've seen the stories that they're cutting back on the production of the brand new phone. That's going to affect the bottom line. The business going on with China and how that's going on, that's going to affect the bottom line. So even though as much as I love Apple, I'm never in love with Apple, and I'm not in love with Apple because there's always a bad time to be in a good stock. And this is one of those bad times. Apple is fundamentally sound. It puts out a great product. They charge a lot of money and da 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 da. I got my phone. All of us hardcore Apple geeks will go out and still buy the stuff. Mike says, Glenn, I think you did very well this morning with Shopify. I don't even know if it's still moving up or moving down right now. Anyone else predicting a large drop in the market if Apple misses their target? Just like Meta affected the NASDAQ, do you not think that Apple could affect the NASDAQ tomorrow? All right, think about that. Do you not think that could happen? That could definitely happen. Large drop incoming.
That name, though.
I just saw it after the fact. I was like, sigh. Jim uses the confirm call and Ron uses the do. What does your experience tell you long term? I like the DEW. I do like the DEW for my swing trades, but I am a 3 and 8 exponential moving average person. I look at my stocks to see if the 3 crosses above the 8. That's what I really like to do. Wow, Apple would crush many indexes and like 200 ETF. They could, but that's how big they are. And if they miss, I'm thinking that I don't know if it goes down this much. I don't know if Apple goes down as much as Meta did, but we'll see. All right, let's go see what the hottest industries are. Let's go to Unisearch. Let's go out to Delta Search's industries. Now, remember what I was talking about? We would need more of a broad-based move in the market. I want to show you something. Telecom fiber optics. 10 days ago, the change in relative timing was at 6.25%. Look at over the last 10 days. Now, this goes to my point that if this is a nice move confirmed by other industries moving, how about telecom fiber optics? How about media books? 1.61% 10 days ago in change of RT, but 46% over the last 10 days. Auto truck, 25, now up to 41. Transportation airlines. Remember people using their credit cards to book airline? How about it was 13% change in relative timing last week, but 40% over the last, 41% just about over the last 10 days. So let's look at these. Let's run the search again. Let's look at these to see if there's anything that you guys from a strong industry perspective can look at to get into. Then let's go peep this out. Here's telecom fiber optics. I want to look at the industry graph. I'm not looking at the stocks. I'm looking at the industry graph over the last 3 months. What helps me to understand what's going on? Well, I'm looking at the 20-day exponential moving average. I like the industry moving up. What don't I like? Well, I don't like the earnings per share. If I'm going to look for an industry that's rising, I'd like to find rising earnings per share. Now, over since March, though, it is rising. Could this be an industry to look at? Possibly. Let's go to the next one. How about media books? Man, it's been killed. Now going over the 20-day exponential moving average, but I don't like the earnings per share. But price action on the industry media books, maybe we can find some stocks to get into. Now, this one, on the other hand, transportation airlines. Look at over the last 3 months. Earnings is higher than it was 3 months ago. Well, a lot of that is because people are getting out of the house and flying. How about it's over the 20-day exponential moving average, moving above a level of resistance at 2147 as an industry, approaching another level of resistance at 2242 and stopping right there. Interesting, right? So I would possibly look at if people are willing to spend and use the money on their credit cards to go and is pushing this industry higher, I'd look for some airlines to get into. How about auto and truck tires? Look at the rising earnings on this industry above the 20-day moving average. Down day yesterday, reprieve today, but still above the 20-day moving average, and recently broke through 2 levels of resistance as a company, as a level of an industry. So as I go through these and I find the industries that I like, let's say like the airlines, if you are a VectorVest subscriber, after going through this process, where's the airlines? Where's the transportation airlines? I can double click on that industry to bring up the stocks in that industry to get a feel of what stocks I want to look at. And I'm going to bring up the top 5 by VST. United Airlines, Delta, Ryan Airlines, American, and Copa Holdings. How about they're all up today? So I love the idea of being able to use the flexibility of the software to see what industries are on the rise, look at their industry graphs, and then go through those industries that I like to find the stocks that fit me. How many of you feel that that is useful? JD says, look at my last comment. Even if they did beat earnings. It's about the forward guidance and the future of key earnings key, not the present. And every company that reports earnings, even if they beat, it's the forward guidance that we look at. Did anyone get tacos today? Oh man, didn't I say, Joey, I needed you to put up a virtual taco. That was my fault. Today was going to be Taco Thursday. I wasn't going to all y'all's houses and buying y'all those tacos because that wasn't happening. But I said I was going to try to give out a virtual taco, and I don't know. I don't know. What about banks? Financial saw a little rebound recently. You know something? You would think that with rising interest rates that the banks would be the beneficiary, but with all of this rising of the interest rates, it never really came to fruition. It really never came to fruition. Boston says, what about me? Am I chopped liver here? Yes, you are. You're chopped liver. And for that, I will give you a chopped liver taco. How about that? All right, so this is a great exercise to go through the process. This is a search that I created for YouTube to find out what the strong industries were. And you can build it once you're a subscriber, we can build it. In Boston, take a screenshot of this. In case anyone calls in and wants to learn how to build this search, Boss is going to take a screenshot. She'll give it out to the people on the floor to answer that question. In regards to helping you build this. This is a great way from a industry perspective to help you to go find some good stocks on the industries that are rising. Chopped liver is horrible. She said it. I didn't say it. I don't like chopped liver. All right, let's go back to the viewers tab. What's the next on my list? Short-term plays. These are stocks that I look at today that are on the rise today. And let's go see what they look like last week. What short-term plays did I have last week? These are the stocks that make the big move on the day that I look at them. Let's see if these held up, Joey. Let's go see if these held up over the last week. Go back to 1020. These stocks were big up on last week. Let's do a quick test of the top 10. Look at that. No, they didn't hold up. A couple of stocks did, though, but PXMD, which was up nicely last week, about 16%, gave back about 30%, but 3 out of the 5 did make money. Let's go with see what short-term plays I have today. These are stocks that were all stream. All of these stocks are up in excess of 10% for the day. So 200 likes. Glenn will show his credit card number on camera. Oh, heck to the no. I'm sure not doing that. Not even thinking about it. All right. So they're all up today. Let's go graph them all. Let's go see if they would have the wherewithal to keep moving up over the next week. I do like the move on OII, another petroleum stock above the 20-day. Let's go switch that. If these are short-term plays, let's go look at not swing, but trade. Where is it at? All these I have in here is crazy. There it is, trade. So I'm going to look at the 3 and the 8. I like the 3 and the 8. I like the volume. Big update today, a little bit of selling pressure. Keep your eyes on that going into next week. Wow, GBX. Whoo, no, very little wick at the top. Very little wick at the top. Above average volume for the last 3 days. RT above 1. This could be a hot short-term play going into the week. Next one is PI, Impinj, electronic semiconductor. Nice above average volume for the last few days. RT above 1. Nice gap up. Was this an earnings play? Yep, it was an earnings play, but does it have the wherewithal to go throughout the week from a short-term play? Very little wick at the top. CYH, wow, big earnings play, jumped above a level of resistance. Very little pushback on big volume, and RT just went above 1. Not a bad play going into next week. Shopify, man, earnings play. We did this in our live day trading room today. Very little wick at the top of today's candle. A lot of buyers into it, a lot of volume, biggest volume over the last month on earnings. Do like that. 200 likes is going to cook 10 pounds of bacon on his Blackstone. I can do that with just 1 like. I can just do that with 1 like. We got 69 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 100 likes before we leave today, if we can. All right, and the last stock that I have on the list is FDMT, up big today, but a lot of give back, a lot of profit taking on this stock. This wasn't an earnings play, but it was a big jump. I'd be careful with this going into next week, even though it's up bigly today, because of a lot of the big wick, a lot of give back on it. All right, what's next? Swing trade plays. Let's go look at my swing trade plays from last week. Let's go see what they did. And my swing trade plays, I look at graphs that look really good. We had CCRN last week, energy stocks, a shipping stock, which I really like, lithium stock, which I really like. 9 is getting killed today. 9 is getting killed today. Let's go take this back 1 week to 1020. So these were my stocks for you last week that were my swing trade picks. Let's go do a quick test. How did they do? Look at that, 13% for those stocks that I picked out for you specifically for swing trading in the current market's conditions. I do a lot of work to try to find these stocks. Do they always work? No, but a lot of times they do. How about all 5 of the stocks went up? How many of you look at well, how about this? If you've never paid attention to my swing trade picks before, how many of you are going to at least start doing it now? How many of you are going to at least start doing it now? Type of 1 in the room. All right. Now, this week's, let's stream. I've got CCRN again. It looks still looks good. INSW, SGML, but I've got 2 new stocks, Marathon Petroleum and Par Petroleum. My 2 additional stocks that I'm looking at this week. Let's graph them. And now this is going into next week, right? Let's put this on the swing trade. Man, look at these stocks. This is why I bring them out. Now, this one, I'm going to go more to my swing. These are my swing trade picks for you going into the week. Above the 20-day, moving up, good earnings. Gotta love that. For a stock, no matter what the market is doing, if I can find you the stocks that are doing this, this is something that is worth looking at. INSW, shipping company, really. This is like a ruler stock. This is like a ruler stock from the bottom left to the top right with rising earnings. Was in a channel, broke out of the channel, stayed above the 20. Now, what I don't like about it, though, is the volume is starting to wear off a little bit. Just be careful if you jump on board. I like the price action, but just be careful. Just be careful with the volume on it. Next one, SGML. This is a lithium play, one of my favorite lithium plays out there. New month graph. Look at that. Nice open day today. Very little wick at the top. Rising earnings. Now, you say overbought. Now, I can put an indicator like stochastics on here to show if the stock is overbought or not. And you know something? You could say that here. Where did it pull back down to? The 20-day. Hey, it's still overbought. What did it do? Pull down to the 20-day. Man, it's still going up. It's overbought. Look what it did. And not only did it go to the 20-day, but it found a level of support. And you know something? I hear you on the overbought, Stephanie. But if a stock is constantly going up and up and up and up, you notice that the pullbacks, you can use that 20-day exponential moving average as a level of knowing when to get out. Does that make sense, Stephanie? A stock can be overbought and stay overbought. Does that mean that it's going to go up forever? No, it does pull back, but it pulls back not significantly, and it uses that 20-day exponential moving average, and it does a really good job. It does a really good job. All right, let's go to the next one. MPC, Marathon, another petroleum stock. Love the earnings, love the graph, a little bit of trickiosity going on. You know, a new word to put into my book of Glenism is ludicrosity. Look ludicrous, ludicrosity with the petroleum, but this wasn't the petroleum. The demand slowed, and a lot of petroleum stocks felt that same effect. All right, but that's a new Glenism, ludicrosity. Be careful with this one. Bottom left, top right, down day. I wouldn't tell you to buy it today, but I do like the rising earnings, and I would say be careful with the falling volume. Next one, speculative plays. How many of you guys are my speculators out there? I know I've got a few of them. Type of 1 in the room if you're a speculator. Boston, Maria, check your FB Messenger when you have a moment. There you go. How many? 3 of the 5 top have been top 5s for the past 2 or 3. So, Jose, what am I doing? I'm keeping right in line with what the software is telling me. The software is telling me that these are good swing trade picks. Why not? Why not? All right. So my speculative plays are always going to always be fundamentally challenged. Relative values and relative safeties are going to always be below 1. That's what makes them speculative. All right. But RTs are always above 1. They're on the rise. Let's go take a look at these. Going into, this was last week, right? This was last week. Let's go back 10 days. Let's see if these panned out. Let's do a quick test of all of them. My speculative plays, look at that, also came through, up 4.27% throughout the week, kept up with the market at the S&P at 4.07. 3 of the stocks went up. DO went up double digits. PBFX and the other shipping company, DHT, only went up a little bit more than 2. And only one, out of my speculative plays, only one had a slight loss. That's not half bad. All right, so those were my speculative plays last week. Let me bring up the speculative plays for this week. All right, let's stream these. DHT is still in the, no, a different, DHT is still in the list. You remember, somebody wanted to know about metamaterials? It's in my list for speculative plays to that. All right, it's in my list for speculative plays. Let's go take a look at them. All right, so these are my speculative plays going into this week. Helix, I like the play, but I'm watching the give back on the stock. A lot of selling pressure. Earnings per share looks good. It's above the 20-day. Actually, if these are my speculative plays, let's go bring on my, not my swing, but my trade. Look at the 3 and the 8. There's the 3 and the 8. I don't like the pushback here, but it's still above the prior day's high. I like it from that perspective. The volume is good. RT is still rising. I would keep my eye on that one as a speculative play. PI, for the other hand, this is the second time it's popped up in a list of stocks for you. Very little wick at the top, a lot of volume. I like it as a speculative play. Now, SOBR is a speculative play, bottom left, top right, but it's trading a little bit sideways right now, and the volume doesn't look all that great. I'd keep my eye on this as well. I'd like to see it take out the 1-month high. On DHT, beautiful looking equity curve, down day to day, shooting star pattern showing as a possible reversal. We're getting that reversal. I would keep my eye on this one as well. RT is falling, volume is falling. I like it as a speculative play, but I'd be very careful with trading it. Wow, SPTN, retail, wow, look at that. New 1-month high, volume is starting to pick up again. RT is up there, bottom left, top right on the 1-month graph, hitting a new 1-month high. A little bit of indecision today, but still a green candle. And I like MMTLP because it fell. Look at this. It fell and on end of day, the 3 and the 8 held. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 days of pullback. Remember, this is a speculative play. 4 days of pullback. The 3 and the 8 said, not so fast, my friend, and look at that. It's rising. I'd like to see rising earnings for this. All right, I'd like to see rising earnings for this. Rising volume for this, but I like the move. So whoever gave me said, look at MMTLP, I had already had that on my mind. What is the trend line you used again, Glenn? So I draw a trend line for looking at a downtrend, connecting the highs, for an uptrend, connecting the lows. All right, support and resistance automatically gets drawn on my VectorVest program for me. I just got a sell signal for the SPY, man. In a down market, it's difficult to remain bullish on specific stocks. So interesting, on a down market, it's not difficult to remain bullish on certain stocks if they give you the opportunity to go long and go against the trend. You just got to be very nimble with those stocks. You got to be very nimble with those stocks. Mark, have a great day. Thanks, Glenn, Joey, Lisa, customers. Hey, go have a good day, my friend. Thanks for subscribing. We got another subscription. We got people subscribing to the channel. Excellent. And we're up to 84 likes. I'm almost done, folks. I'm almost done. All right. Day trade plays. I'm not going to show those today, but I will show you some picks that I got for you. I had some picks for you last week. I go through a lot of things, a lot of news to try to find some stocks for you to get into. Let's take this back 1 week. This was my list of my personal picks for you going into the week. Let's quick test them. How did they do? Not all that great. I mean, they went positive. One of the stocks that I had picked out for you went down about 11%. But one, a steel stock, did go up 14%. Looks like 3 out of the 5 did go out. We eked out a win overall, but we did not keep up with the market. It is what it is. Here's my picks for you this week. I'm all about defense this week. These are all defense stocks. These are all in aerospace and defense. I think that with the things that are going on in the world right now, this is probably a good space to be in. We're going to have to restock on our munitions and stuff like that and stuff because we sent a lot of stuff over to Ukraine to help fight Russia. This is going to be a time when tensions are getting stronger between the United States and China. that we've got to restock our stuff. I'm thinking that aerospace and defense is a good place to be. How many of you agree with that? Type of 1 in the room. How many of you agree with that? And if you don't agree with that and we just need to just shut up and just go home, type of 2. I think that this is a good space for you guys to consider being in, given what's going on in the market. Again, type of 1 if you agree with that. Type of 2 if you just want me to shut up and go home. Joey, which would you rather than me? You want me to shut up and go home, Joey?
Let's get it.
Yeah, Joey wants me to shut up and go home. Lockheed is a good one. Let's go look at the graphs of these real quick. Let's go put this on a 3-month graph. I think that, look at this. They're starting to rise. Huntington, I'd like to see more. I'd like to see, actually, let's go change the layout to, where is it at? Glen Swing. Using the 20-day exponential moving average. A little bit of give back here, but still moving higher. Earnings per share looks good. These companies are still making money. Defense. This is an ETF to play for the whole stuff. That is, what's LOC? I thought that was Lockheed Martin. LMT is Lockheed Martin. I'm not sure what LOC is. I need 2 stocks to make long for next month, please. You know, I'm not going to do that, Corona. Listen, that's what the software is for. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I'd have to ask for in regards to even trying to answer that question. What kind of investor you are. And not that even if you answer these questions, I'm still not going to do that for you. That's the power of the VectorVest system to help you to make those choices, my friend. All right, to help you to make those choices. There's nothing wrong with Northrop Grumman. I just picked some stocks based on VST in the system. That's all that I did. That's all that I did. So if there's a stock in here that I didn't show, it's not because I hate it or anything. Now, Lockheed Martin is going up. Watch the volume. Volume is falling, but earnings per share is up. As I look at RTX, man, big drop. Raytheon, big drop in earnings per share. There's the earnings play. Be careful with that one. All right, but if you go look at the whole space, you can find the stocks that you want, or you can play the whole space with one contra ETF, which is DFEN. What about buying contras for this week? You want to know something that I got in regards to that? Even with the news today, all right, what's going on with GDP? I want you to see something. Here's my top 10 contras. Let's see what they're doing today. 8 out of the 10 are going up, and FANG-D, which is the technical inverse, is up 11%. Yeah. So there you go, Stephanie. I'm glad you asked that question. I got that here too. So I'm still of the mindset that the long-term trend of the market is still down, and I keep my eyes on these contras. 8 out of the 10 contras on a day where GDP got better, and that should be positive for the market. We've got a mixed market, and contras are going up. All right, Joey, put me on my ending screen. So all of the contras have a buy signal. And listen, I'm just telling you as it is. Why is this market doing what it's doing? I think that the underlying factor that the market is still overall more bearish because of all of the things that are going on in the market is pertinent. All right, watch tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video is going to talk about the GDP and, you know, arguing the case for do the bulls have control of this market? All right, so that comes out at 6 p.m. tomorrow on our YouTube channel. It's a short video. I wanted to be right. How long is that video, Joey? About 6 minutes? Sigh. I hate it when Joey. How long is the video that I did for tomorrow?
6 minutes.
It's about 6 minutes. It's a short video. So go watch it. Go watch it. It comes out at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Go keep it. We're only 5 likes short of 100. All right. First off, if you like the information that we gave today, hit that like button. If you don't want to hit the like button, you ain't got to. That's fine. All right. But thank you guys for being here. Interest rates still going at an incredible rate, Glenn. I know. And it's hurting the economy. It is. And I think that a lot of people have the argument that the Fed is going to have to stop raising interest rates the way that it's going because he's hurting the economy. But this is the unfortunate reality of saying that the inflation was transitory and not coming to the party on time and coming late. So we're going to suffer because of that. And I think that it needs to be. The head and shoulders formation with a falling triangle should be all the confirmation you need. I still think overall the market's going to be bearish. But I bring to the table that every one of these relief rallies have been on oil and energy. That should tell you enough right there, that these runs are not sustainable if you're just looking at two industries on the rise. All right. With that, folks, I want you guys, did we hit 100 likes? We did, 108 likes. I appreciate that. With that, folks, this video is over. It's not a video. This is a live stream. But thank you for being here. Thank you guys for supporting the YouTube channel. I saw we had a lot of people here today, more than we normally have. I thank you for that. If you did share, I appreciate you doing that. I want to get more and more people in these live streams so that they can get some real hardcore information on what's going on in the market. All right. With that, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Still praying for the peeps in Florida and in Puerto Rico. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until the next time, folks, see ya.